ruts develop throughout the race, you're going to have to make sure you pick the quickest line and don't get stuck in a line that's had its better days.
You and I were bench racing yesterday. We've come from west to east. That used to be a massive difference. Do you know how hard the West Coast tracks were? It's a big change today coming to High Point compared to what we've seen.
I really don't think so.
Okay.
We saw loamy conditions last week in Lakewood, Colorado at Thunder Valley. Even with 95-degree temperatures and low humidity, we've seen great conditions at the Paula Raceway and at Hangtown. So here at High Point, no different really.
Okay, all right. Anybody looking for a reset? You're going to have to do it yourself. The track's not going to hand it to you. There's been a couple of riders going really fast as of late. Michael Mosman, Levi Kitchen, Hunter Lawrence got that Moto win and is second in points. But Jet has won all the overalls. Can he make it 4 straight to start the season? Adam Cianciarulo did it. Won 4 straight to start the 2019 campaign and did go on to win this title. Revs are up. Let's do it. Gates down at High Point. And it's one of the Kawasaki riders going to lead them in, and look for that motosport.com whole shot, and it's Pennsylvania's own Seth Hamaker and his teammate right with him. That's Joe Shimoda. So 2 monster Pro Circuit machines up there.
Yeah, definitely some smiles on Mitch Payton's face there to get the Pro Circuit riders out there. Hamaker was a fast qualifier at the first round this year, and he really didn't have the best round last week, but now he's back at it, and he's in his home state of Pennsylvania.
And Hunter continuing the good starts. Rough ones to start the year. Whole shot last week, a 3rd place start here. Now, Hamaker is from PA, but he has ridden this track 1 time ever before in a regional qualifier for the Monster Energy Amateur National Championship. That's it. Doesn't have a ton of laps, but he's got a lot of friends and family here cheering him on. Trying to figure out who that was. That was one of the Rockstar Husqvarna riders, I think, that was down and is going to pick it up in last. Whew, hang on to that, Seth Hamaker almost threw it away. Battle is on right now. I believe that's Nate Thrasher challenging Joe Shimoda. As we watch a Beta Motorcycles drone cam, Thrasher crashed out with Hamaker last week. Didn't even know if he'd be here racing. He's feeling good right now, going for second.
Yep, in the top of the picture right there, you can see the #1 of Jet Lawrence back a little bit further than we're used to seeing, but 7th place start, 6th, 7th place start. Not a bad place to start when you're, coming and you have the talent that he does.
And there's Thrasher trying to work these outside. It's in the ruts to 49, battling it out with the 30 of Shimoda. And now Michael Mosman has gotten into the picture as well.
Yeah, if you can see the terrain change here at High Point Raceway, they're coming out of that corner. It is just a power-robbing uphill grind at the top.
So we go back down, and it's Hamaker over Hunter Lawrence, who's made the move on Shimoda. Shimoda under pressure from Thrasher, then Mosman. Last week's first Moto winner, Kitchen. And then our series leader, Jet Lawrence, 7th. RJ Hampshire back in action in 8th. Ooh, almost went down with Shimoda and that rutted left-hander. And 1 lap is now complete at High Point.
You mentioned Levi Kitchen wins a Moto last week, and for some reason came back and was qualified 17th. Surprising there, but it looks like he's actually found the speed he's needed now.
He's going to need to because Jet Lawrence is on the charge. So we watch this battle between the 30 and the 49, Shimoda and Thrasher. Then 29 of Mosman, and there is the #1. So Jet looking to make moves right now.
Yeah, Mosman just tried to peek the front wheel and the inside there and almost made it work, but not quite. And then you've got two of our speedsters of this class right there, Michael Mosman and Jet Lawrence coming through together. So it's going to be interesting to see how they make their way through the pack.
Well, how about this for Thrasher, who really has never put in a great moto outdoors. Gets hurt last week, comes back, and this might be one of the best outdoor performances we've seen. Oh, I thought he had the pass for 3rd, but he went wide, goes off the track.
Yeah, that was an interesting move. It looked like he almost had it, but just didn't want to give it up, and then unfortunately went off the track. That's very off camber where he was, but he was able to re-enter without gaining any advantage, so no penalty.
Mosman tripling up around the outside, but no, Thrasher able to get back by. He barely clears that big sky jump by the fans. And meanwhile, through all of this, Seth Hamaker is marching away, almost a 3-second advantage up front. There's Hunter Lawrence 2nd.
Yeah, he's gotten off to a great start, Hamaker has here, and he's at 3 seconds on Hunter Lawrence. That's saying something in less than 2 laps.
Jet Lawrence trying to make moves. He's going to go all the way around the outside of this Thrasher and Mosman battle. There it is. He's made the move on Thrasher. Outside worked.
Yeah, this is a track I do expect Jet to shine. I mean, he's an exceptional rider in the ruts, and he's made a showing this why right now.
And now Justin Cooper in this battle. First shot today of the number 32. Perennially a front runner in this series. He's trying to follow Jet through. This should be a good battle. Mosman has been very quick as of late. Can he hold off the series leader on the #1?
Yeah, that's probably a 3 or 4 story drop right there. We just saw the riders do a moseying around the long way, carrying extra speed. And sometimes that translates well because you're carrying exit speed coming out of the corner, and then it translates all the way up the hill, and he made the pass.
He got on the gas on the downhill and rode that momentum all the way around to take the spot from Shimoda.
Yeah, carrying that wide line like that, he might literally be carrying a couple miles an hour faster, but you carried up all the way the hill and then made the move.
And he was under pressure from Jet Lawrence, so that was a big move from Moseman. He'll try to get away. Oh, we got a crash here. That is one of the Star Racing riders. Might that have been Kitchen?
It was. It looked like it was number 49. Yep. That's
We're going to have the Kitchen crash as you watch Cooper and Jet Lawrence battle it out.
Oh, there it is.
Oh.
Sometimes that's what happens in these ruts here, Weege. It's just they're soft, and you catch the edge of it. You don't enter them in the right spot, and the way, and he's definitely up and limping around. I'm not sure, visor off.
You don't want to see that. He just won his first moto of his career last week and was looking to ride that momentum, and just like that, he's put down. So we'll see if he's able to get back at it in the second moto. That's how cruel this sport can be.
Extra cruel in the 250 class. Honestly, I think some of it's just the experience of the younger riders. You know, the 450 riders know that they just need to kind of calm down, not push 100% on the first couple laps, take a deep breath. 250 riders just tend to do it. We see it in Supercross, we see it outdoors, and unfortunately, you know, here's the latest victim.
Yeah, bit Levi Kitchen there, man. Tough break for the very likable rider out of Washington State. Hope he's okay long term. Meanwhile, Seth Hamaker, he might not have grown up riding in this track, but you sure would think so, because he has opened it up to 5.5 seconds. He's gone. If you watch his drone shot, he's already checked out.
Very, very impressive, actually. I'm surprised Hamaker hadn't ridden here other than one time, because it's not 4 or 5 hour drive from his house from the eastern side of Pennsylvania. But you know what? It hasn't slowed him down. This is impressive. I mean, he showed some speed earlier. He qualified 5th, but this is surprising to all of us.
He has never won a moto in this series. He's actually only raced 6 races in his young pro career, and he's never raced as a pro at this track. Battle beginning to build for the number 2 spot. It's Hunter Lawrence there in the blue gear, Honda HRC machine. As you watch this ETS Racing Fuels drone cam, he's under pressure from Moseman. And there it is, Seth Hamaker. Said he does have a lot of people cheering him today, and he's giving them something to cheer about.
Yep, we come down into what's kind of the iconic second corner here at High Point Raceway, and then the tunnel jump here that we remember, a little bit different layout when Ricky Carmichael and Kevin Windham were jumping that all the way to the corner. But down the stair step, this is a feature in the High Point track that's been here forever, and look at Michael Moseman trying to put the move on.
Man, he has been so fast as of late. Moseman, can he make the pass on Hunter Lawrence? Side by side, Moseman has the spot. Oh no, Hunter's not going to give up on it on the wide line, but he's able to double out of the corner. Hunter, what determination.
What a battle. This is what's so nice about this track with all the multiple ruts, the multiple lines. We can see passes like this. It's certainly not a fall of the leader.
No, not at all. Moseman had the pass made, and Hunter was able to get him back. Meanwhile, Jason Thomas has the trainer and coach for a race leader. Go ahead, JT.
Down here with former national champion Ivan Tedesco. Now, you're a test rider and a riding coach for Monster Energy Kawasaki. It has to be awesome to see Seth Hamaker running out front like this.
Yeah, it's really awesome. Glad he got a good start. He's been riding good all day, and we made some good improvements over the last few weeks on the bike, and I think that's showing now. Hopefully he can hold on to it.
Yeah, the starts have seemingly not been the problem, but maybe staying up there has. Have you guys been working on, is it more fitness, or do you think just getting the bike out in that'll let him stay up there?
I think it's not really fitness. I think just more him getting tight. I think we could help him with that with the bike setup, which we did this week, and just him getting the experience out there. This is only his 5th or 6th outdoor race, so I think the experience will come, and these moto wins hopefully will come after.
Monster Pro Circuit Kawasaki looking strong so far, guys.
2005 class champion Ivan Tedesco teaching this kid the ropes.
Yeah, one of the good guys. I mean, he works really hard with the Pro Circuit team there. And hey, speaking of last week, Thunder Valley, one of the rare winners in both 250 and 450 class. Ivan was able to do it.
Yeah, he was great at that facility. Meanwhile, this battle continuing to rage. It was the opposite side of the racetrack. First, Moseman got Lawrence. Lawrence got him back. Then on the other end, Moseman able to finally make that pass stick. So Moseman, who had unbelievable speed at rounds 2 and 3, has brought that speed to round 4. Can he track down the leader? Meanwhile, Jet Lawrence on the run.
Yep, Jet Lawrence made her way around his friend Joe Shimoda, and so now we see the two Lawrence brothers right next to each other. We'll see what happens. Hunter is going to have to start fending off Jet pretty soon here.
But because Hunter had the good start and because Mosiman and Hammaker have been so quick, there's a pretty good gap for Jet to make up. You see he's about 4 seconds plus off of his brother. And Shimoda's trying to get Jet back.
Yeah, see, Joe, when Joe rides with Jet, I think he's more comfortable because he's friends, he knows him, and I don't think he's tightening up, and he's definitely going at it right here. He's not going to let Jet just disappear with no fight.
Send it back down to JT.
So, guys, yesterday when I arrived at the track, everybody's, it's kind of a mellow Friday, and I happened to see both Hunter and Jet Lawrence playing football together. Now, you would think these two brothers that are battling for the biggest stage, a championship on the biggest stage we have, there would be a little bit of animosity, some tension, at least competitiveness. But no, they're just tossing a football around right in front of everyone like there's really nothing on the line. So it's just one of those things where I think, racing is one thing, but brothers are another, and it's pretty interesting to see.
I think that's called cross-training, JT.
Okay.
Last week they were doing, last week, right? They were playing
cornhole.
Cornhole.
Yes.
They were playing cornhole together, and it got pretty competitive. But football, that's a different American football too.
Yeah, they throw in American football like they grew up in America. I was pretty impressed with the arms there of the Lawrence brothers. But right now, Jet's got to get going here because that gap, 5 seconds, he'll have to make up if he wants to battle, and that would only be his brother for third because Mosiman is headed to the front. Mosiman just turned in a 2:03.8, his best lap of the race. Now he just drifted back into the 2:04s, but he's going significantly quicker than Hammaker, and that's why Hammaker's gap is down to just 2.2 seconds. So Mosiman, I'm going to say, I think Mosiman's been the fastest guy the last 2 races, and he might be making that claim again today.
Well, there's no question. Right now, he has the fastest lap of this race at the 2:04.6. He's the only rider to be going that fast, and so he's closing in.
Talking to Mosiman this morning, he gives a lot of credit to the motorcycle. You'll often hear riders say it's the bike, it's the setup and all that. He's gone the opposite. He said this bike, it is so easy to ride it this fast. He does not feel like he's pushing. He just feels like his natural pace is this good over the last couple of weeks. And look, he has caught Hammaker, and Hunter Lawrence is hanging in it.
Yep, Hunter Lawrence is actually latched onto the back of Michael Mosiman here, and they're both going after Hammaker.
Uh-oh, so Hammaker's gap down to essentially nothing. He has a battle on his hands. Feels like he was just leading them around forever, but it was only 12 minutes, so we're not even halfway through this thing, and here comes the charge from Mosiman.
It's a really critical stage of the race for Michael Mosiman. He has to make the move around Seth Hammaker. If he doesn't, he's going to have to start fending off Hunter Lawrence, and he does not want to lose his momentum as he's going a little bit quicker speed, and there it is right there.
Oh, there it is. Same area where he passed Hunter for second. He's trying to get the lead. Hammaker looking to fight back. Side by side uphill. Mosiman shuts the door at the top. He's into the lead again.
Right, very impressive right here, coming down to a nice low section of the track. And then this corner again, the beginning of the old Bradshaw Boulevard here. Up this steep hill for those 250s, but they power up with ease.
Hammaker looking to latch on and learn a thing or two from Mosiman.
Nice line for Michael Mosiman. A little outside the traditional line, kind of crossing over the rut, never having to back off the throttle. And he used this line right here to make the pass. He realizes, see, he's able to carry just a few more miles an hour out of that corner, but it carries all the way up that hill. So that's a big, for a 250, a smaller horsepower bike, that's an important line to take.
So Mosiman wins the first Moto 2 weeks ago at Hangtown, crashes out of Moto 2. Said he hit a rut and the rut blew out, damaged the motorcycle. Fastest qualifier last week, first turn crash, bike problems. But in between the first turn crash and having the bike problems, he was super quick. And he's doing it again today, and just like you said he had to do, he is checking out.
He has to right now. He did the right thing. He got past Hammaker quickly, and he was able to just get clear track, no worrying about reaching for tear-offs, and already he's opening up a little bit of a gap.
Mosiman out of Northern California. We thought maybe there was some home cooking when he won that Hangtown race or Moto 2 weeks ago. That's the track he grew up on, but he is just as good here today at High Point. And we're ready for a battle for second with Hammaker, the rookie in Pro Motocross. Turned pro a couple of years ago, but has missed almost all these races with long bout with Epstein-Barr. Had a shoulder injury, slow his amateur career. Every week I say it, you got to give credit to the Team Green folks. That's Kawasaki's amateur program for sticking with this guy because they always believed he had this type of potential. Running up front right now and holding Hunter Lawrence at bay for second.
Yeah, Michael Mosiman just turned in the fastest lap of the race, not only for himself, for all riders with a 2:03.5. Perfect lap to do it. Hammaker slipped back to a 2:07, which was not a good lap for him when considering Lawrence's brother, Hunter's 2:05, Jet's at 2:06. So, Hammaker's going to have to gather himself here once he lost the lead. He's going to have to start focusing forward here if he wants to keep that second place position.
Trying to smooth it out on a track that's so tough to do that on.
This is only Moto 1, and you can just see the ruts developing. So, again, by the second 450 Moto, we're going to see a pretty treacherous track.
Here's your Motorsport.com hole shot replay. This is Seth Hammaker, Pennsylvania's own, hole shotting his own home race.
Yep, he had just the right line shape there, able to close down on Hunter and come around with that perfect Motorsport hole shot award.
So there is Hammaker. We've led a couple of laps at our season opener, Fox Raceway in Southern California, and got about 12 minutes worth of laps led today. Mosman has taken over from him, and now he's going to have to deal with Hunter Lawrence, but holding his own.
So let's talk about that wall right there in the background. It's nice. They introduced it last year. That was an iconic feature of this track that the riders knew from decades. And it was about 100 feet down where the old finish line was, but it was just really cool that they put it back here at the High Point Raceway. I think it's great.
Oh, yeah, really unique. And these riders have never experienced that because that obstacle had been gone for a long time. We're halfway through the Moto, 15 minutes down. 15 minutes to go. You can save 15% or more on your motorcycle insurance with Geico. Keep it here, though. Hunter Lawrence is closed back up to the rear fender of Hammaker. Hammaker fended him off for a lap or two. Brock, this battle for second is on. And Hunter's quick through this section. He repassed Mosman through here. Can he take second? He does. Actually went tire to tire.
That was a gutsy move on the outside like that because he's on the edge of a track, and if you go wide, you're off the track as we saw earlier. But, boy, the one thing that's kind of surprising me, Mosman had a nice little cushion there, and now it seems to be evaporating. So Hunter Lawrence, he's just the one thing that probably his strength is he just continually is pounding away at those lap after lap after lap. And you saw it in Supercross. We're seeing it outdoors. He is relentless. The old Mark Barnett style, he just never lets up.
All right, let's see if Hunter can make his way all the way back to Mosman. About 5 laps ago, they were battling. At that point, it was for second. Mosman took it away on that Troy Lee Designs Red Bull gas, but Hunter, he's feeling it right now.
What a quick corner right there. He just hit that rut, popped in and out. Second, and an excellent job there.
So we'll have a lap time in a moment. They pop up and down this hill again, and we'll see if Hunter is indeed closing the gap on Mosman. They still have about 5 seconds back to Jet Lawrence. Jet has not caught. At one point, it was his brother in front of him third. Now it's Hammaker, but he is not catching them lap time-wise. Oh, no, Mosman's down. Mosman has tipped it over. We've seen that quite a bit from him. Man, this moto is absolutely going his way. He tips over in the rut, and just like that, Hunter Lawrence finds himself in the lead.
Yeah, that's what they call an unforced error in tennis. I mean, we see that often in this stupid class, and it's just we'll have to see exactly what happened. I'm sure we'll have a camera angle of it. But
should be at the top here.
See Hunter, he should be right ahead of us, just off to the left of our screen. Yeah, just picking it up. Just clearly, these ruts we've seen them as the track continues, the riders race on it. These ruts do change every single lap. Sometimes, who knows, maybe a rider from the previous lapped rider or somebody that was behind him hit the rut, could have damaged the rut, and he didn't see it till it was too late. But regardless, this is what happens, and you can't. Tough to win races when you're on the ground.
This battle just outside the top 5. You got Thrasher 6th, Justin Cooper in the middle here is 7th, and then R.J. Hampshire returning. They're missing last week's race with injury. We talked to Hampshire in our practice show. He's on that white number 24 Rockstar Husqvarna. Crashed, took a trackside banner stake, and broke some ribs actually, and had to spend a couple days in the hospital. His back hurts because the ribs are kind of in that back shoulder blade area. He's hanging tough right now in 8th. To show the FMF battle box, that is your new race leader, Hunter Lawrence, who almost threw it away.
Exactly what we were talking about. That's exactly what Mosman, that kind of activity right there. The ruts are changing all the time, and it's just a fluid track. It's just never staying the same. And I've just about got Hunter, but he was able to save it.
It's still that Thrasher Cooper Hampshire battle that you're watching with the drone cam in this FMF battle box, as Cooper's trying to take the measure of his teammate with Hampshire right behind. And then behind them, you got Max Voland, and then Pierce Brown. That's Mosman's teammate in 10th. The battle's all over this racetrack. Well, I shouldn't say that, actually, because Hunter, besides that mistake, starting to pull away out front. Might be the one spot that's not under fire right now.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if Michael Mosiman can rebound from what he did and to be able to make a charge at least on Seth Hammaker. You want to put yourself in a position where you're maybe second overall, so then you have the overall in your control. If you win the second moto, you're at least going to win the overall. If you get a third, you're a little bit at the mercy.
So we're going to see what Hammaker and Mosiman are made of. They had their moments in this moto. Can they recover? Hunter Lawrence has come into his own right now, starting to pull away on the Honda. Meanwhile, GoPro course preview. This is from Michael Mosiman's bike in practice. Like to ride High Point.
And it's nice to hear that bike is just running right at the peak over the tunnel jump. And here's that iconic down step, I guess, stair step downhill that's always been a feature here at High Point Raceway. This section right here is that off camber. It's been pretty tricky. Even the ruts in practice were pretty tough. Roost flying, lots of tear-offs, and this section here too has also caught a couple people out.
Luca Marzalese in front of him. It's Mosiman's practice. We'll be back with more 250 Moto 1 on MAP TV. So there it is, Hunter Lawrence in the lead, and 2.8 seconds is the gap, so it's manageable, but he now has to deal with lap traffic for the first time in this moto. With these long ruts, you got to plan well ahead.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of lappers already this early in the race. I mean, we still have a full 10 minutes and 2 laps to go, so it's riders looking over, yielding to the leader, but sometimes you get in behind a rut, you're going to have to. Hunter's going to make sure he changes his lines and does not follow one of these riders. We saw that happen before, where a leader will get caught behind a rider that falls down and cost them a race.
Hunter going for his second moto win in a row. Won the second moto last week. Saying if he could just get some better starts. Not him. We have been saying that.
Yep.
Started with the whole shot last week, started third this week, and that has made all the difference.
And again, he's just you could set your watch to him. He just continually knocks off lap times that are so consistent, and his consistency is one of his strong points for certain.
He is a grinder. He will do anything to learn. He's a thinking man's type rider, so putting those lessons to work on a rough racetrack like this.
The 50th anniversary season of Pro Motocross is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on motorcycle insurance. Motosport.com. Make your next ride your best ride. And by Monster Energy. Unleash the beast.
Look how many people are here, and the campground's filled with amateur racers. Raced yesterday, and again, they'll be out on this track tomorrow. These are the pros right now. Lucas Oil Pro Motocross, the best of the bunch. Early today in the 250 class, Hunter Lawrence. There is second, Seth Hammaker. Still somewhat in striking distance if Hunter were to make a mistake, so he's holding tough on the 47.
Yeah, his last lap was almost about 0.8 of a second faster than Hunter Lawrence's, so that's going to, a couple of those in a row, he'll be knocking on the rear fender of Hunter again. So it's kind of fun to see this, and I know Michael Mosiman is keeping him honest. He's doing 206s back there, so he's got 2 or 3 seconds to gain if he wants to join this trio, or the two riders to create a trio. But it's and here comes Jet, so
yep,
this could be a.
We have a battle brewing here, and it is for third. Jet Lawrence has caught Michael Mosiman. It looked like it was going to be Mosiman's moto win, but he tipped over while leading, and then it's very difficult to try to recover from that. Jet using the inside. Mosiman has been around the outside of that corner, and it's been effective all moto long. We'll see if that continues to hold.
Yeah, I was very interested to see with Jet taking that inside line like that, if it's who's going to gain. But Jet has some better
he's right
lines,
there.
and he's right there and makes the move. So clearly Michael Mosiman didn't adapt his line as it got slower on the outside there, and Jet found it. I mean, Jet found the inside line there, and he's able to move in front of Michael Mosiman into the third place position.
Man, that was quick. How quickly he caught him. Yeah, that'll move him to third, and then Mosman will stay.
Yep, spun it out there, over-rotated the bike there, trying to get back on the gas. I mean, Michael Mosman's a fighter, but sometimes you can't just twist the throttle harder to go faster. So he needs to kind of latch on to Jet here and figure out what Jet was doing to gain that time.
Now Shimoda's there too as you follow this on the beta drone cam. So Shimoda's just been hanging in there with Jet. And there he is. See the green Monster Pro Circuit Kawasaki. This could turn from bad to worse. Mosman fourth, but for how long?
I mean, I'm actually surprised Michael Mosman isn't trying to find Jet's line. At this point, if someone's coming around you and made a pass on you, you should just follow it and find out what he's doing, because you want to just do the same thing.
So it is Shimoda in fifth, putting pressure on Mosman. Thrasher in a battle. Tholand has gotten around Cooper. It's not the moto that Justin Cooper wants back in eighth. Hampshire, great comeback to racing. He's in ninth. And Brown rounds out the top 10.
Well, you mentioned Justin Cooper. I mean, he's hole-shotted so many races that we've seen. He's gotten to be, very prolific hole-shot artist, I guess, and he's got the speed. I mean, he's somebody that's qualified first almost 45% of his time that he's ever raced, and so he's got speed, and he's a great starter. And to start back in 7th, 8th place is not really typical for Justin Cooper.
He has not moved forward that much. Once he got to the position he's in right now, he's actually lost another spot. Hampshire has gotten around him. Look at this battle. Through lap traffic, Shimoda and Mosman continue to slug it out for 4th and 5th.
Yeah, it's got to be putting some smiles on the Monster Energy Pro Circuit team to have two of their riders really fighting hard, two of them in the top 5.
That's the corner right there where Mosman lost it while leading. And Brock, just talk about how difficult it is to just get your pace back after a crash.
It's very, very hard, and your mind starts wandering. You're frustrated yourself for doing it. You're kind of beating yourself up a little bit, and as we see him bank off that wall there, I just love that feature. It's always been part of my memories of this track, and to have it come back last year is a great idea. So, but yeah, it's hard for a rider to come back when you make your mistake and you throw, especially while leading, you throw it on the ground. It takes a while to gather yourself. So this is going to be the telltale point for Michael Mosman. He doesn't want to slip back to 5th. That's for certain.
No, but it's going to be difficult because Shimoda is right there. This is a good fight for the number 4 spot. Hard to hustle through this section with those ruts.
And I believe that was a section that Hunter Lawrence went around him on the outside, and Michael Mosman continues to ride the inside line. So it's pretty interesting that Mosman choosing that option.
Mosman didn't triple, and Shimoda did right behind him, almost landed on him.
Yeah. Mosman's able to keep his gap, but Joe Shimoda's got his sights set on him. He's trying to drive forward, and it's fun to see the young riders really pushing hard and not giving up.
Yeah, it didn't look like a great moto for Shimoda at one point, but once Jet Lawrence got around him, actually upped his pace, stayed with him for the most part, and that pulled him up to Mosman, and that's what led to this battle for 4th and 5th. Jet Lawrence in the number 3 spot. Still has about 2 seconds to make up on Hamaker, who's putting in a solid ride in the number 2 position.
And going in and out of the trees there, you saw some shadows. That's not easy either, because your eyes are trying to adjust to the different lighting conditions, and you've got those deep ruts that sometimes when the shadows get in there with the tree and you're coming from sunlight into the shade, then you don't even see the bottom of the rut. So it can be tricky. And here we got Joe Shimoda trying the inside line. And Michael Mosman didn't get his traditional run up that hill that we've seen in the past. So this is a challenge. And here comes Jet.
Oh, and now Jet Lawrence in red on the number 1. He has caught Hamaker for 2nd. Could we have another Lawrence Brothers 1-2? But it would be 2 in a row where Hunter has been the better and Jet finished 2nd. But to get to that point, A, got to get to the finish, and B, Jet has to make the move on Hamaker, who has been awfully good here in his home state.
He has been very good. You're looking at the leaders and looking at the lap times, and Hunter Lawrence's best lap at 2:04. And he's run the last lap was at 2:06, so he's varied 2 seconds. Then you've got Hamaker, his best lap's at 2:04, but his last lap was at 2:08, so he's varying 4 seconds. And again, Jet Lawrence is only varying about a second. So Hamaker, that 4-second gap between your best and current lap, that's going to be problematic for him if he keeps that pace.
What I love about Hamaker is a pretty good amateur rider, had that Team Green Kawasaki support. He's from Pennsylvania, and he actually stayed there. The hot trend now is if you're from the Northeast, and it's cold in winter, you move to Florida or Georgia, something like that, and train and ride full-time. He did not do that and still showed great potential. And maybe it's no surprise now that he is able to ride and train full-time as a professional that he has really opened some eyes. But he's got a real challenge ahead of him now to hold off your defending series champion. And there's Lawrence around the outside. Does he make the pass?
He's got the inside where you want to be right here for this next corner. So, yes, he's definitely made the pass. I mean, look at this place. Reminds me of going to the old Baskin-Robbins ice cream. You got 31 flavors. You got 31 choices. You got 31 lines here. Look at all the lines in this track. I mean, there's so many options. And look, Jet clearly picked a better line there. And he's really using this run from kind of working his way from 7th or 8th place, seeing all sorts of different options, seeing which ones work and don't work. And he's making his way towards the front right now. And again, I don't mean to keep hammering it in, but the Lawrence brothers lap times have only varied roughly 1 second. Jet is exactly 1 second. And Hunter's is only 1.5 seconds or so. And all the other riders are varying 4 or even 5 seconds from their best lap to their current lap. So the Lawrence brothers are doing something right. They're training well. They're practicing well. Johnny O'Mara, the Team Honda guys over there, they're doing something right.
Get a rider down there, picking it up in front of Jet as Hammaker tries to hang with him. Yes, both Lawrence brothers trained by Johnny O'Mara, former champion of this class. And he was a Team Honda member when he won that title back in the 1980s. So kind of a full circle moment for the team. And the big news today is that they have signed a 2-year contract extension for Hunter Lawrence, and he's out here winning this first moto. Hammaker trying to hang with Jet, though, and spoil that Honda party, but we've seen quite a bit of this so far this year.
Yep, Lawrence brothers running 1-2 right now, and it's they are first of all, Hunter's repaying Honda for their I guess faith in him in the next couple of years, and we already know what everybody believes what Jet Lawrence is capable of. So nice to see all the hard work paying off.
Look at the gap, 5 seconds, and that's what it looks like. You just saw Hunter, and now you see Jet. The brothers out of Australia, and I gotta say, you know, Jet's the one with the title right now, also won the Supercross Championship this year, but Hunter was the one that was really on the map first as the older brother was running up front in the MXGP World Championship. And the Geico Honda team, which was Honda's 250 effort back then, signed them both. Jet was still an amateur, and I remember them saying, we signed Hunter Lawrence, and we also signed his brother, who we've never met and never watched ride, but we heard he's good. Well, it's turned out to be an all-time coup for Honda to get these two under the tent, and a 2-year deal for Hunter. I mean, you could bet there'll probably be another 2 years from now. They're not letting these guys go anywhere.
No, they're not. And you mentioned that. I mean, I got to watch Hunter Lawrence win the MX2 class and the Motocross of Nations at Matterley Basin. I think it was in 2017, was it? I think it was. And I had got to have lunch with both Lawrence brothers and the father, and we were talking about it in there, and afterwards his dad told me that he felt Hunter was an exceptional rider, but Jet probably was the most potential.
And Jet's been able to learn a lot from his older brother as well, the goods and the bads, because Hunter's certainly been through it with some injuries that really slowed him the last 2 years, and then last season finally getting it back under control. How about Hammaker, though? He has kept Jet Lawrence in sight, and he needs to. His teammate, the rider out of Japan, Joe Shimoda, isn't too far back.
Yeah, there's a lot of teammate rivalry here. We saw that Jet just did a perfect corner there. You see this ruse coming off, pivoted the bike with the throttle, turned the bike excellent. But here, you've got 2 Hondas, 2 Kawasaki's. So when you go back to the pits, there's one thing about having a nice 2nd or 3rd place finish, but did you beat your teammate? And there's a little of that extra motivation there. Trust me, you want to be the fastest or the top finishing rider under your tent.
And I'll tell you, man, this is the way Joe Shimoda has always done it. Young rider out of Japan. Usually the young riders have all this speed and flash early in the race. Shimoda does it the opposite. Looks like a okay ride, and then at the end of the moto, you look at the results, and here he is battling for podium.
I think he's maturing. He's maybe, I don't want to say maturing more slowly than other riders, but when he learns it, he holds on to it, and he doesn't make those mistakes. Some people say, oh, he doesn't push himself above that limit. He doesn't want to flirt with that edge too much, but why would you? Being on the ground or being injured doesn't do you any good either. And he just keeps improving every single year, seems like every single race by just a little bit.
I feel like Joe did try to answer that in Supercross this year, and it did lead to a lot of crashes and a lot of mistakes and a bad season. And we're seeing a little bit more of the typical Shimoda here in Motocross, where he's just been solid across the board as we got this battle for 3rd. And don't count Mosman out. In some of the longer camera shots, he's still lurking in the number 5 spot. So we could be looking at 3 riders in this final podium.
Yeah, we have a really, really nice run right now from 2nd to 5th. Is just a fantastic run. Large gap to 6th, obviously, but it's already white flag coming out, and going to see what happens.
Oh, it's going to be good. You know, Hammaker wants the podium, be the first motocross podium of his career in his home state, but Shimoda going to try to upset that. 1 lap to go. Battle between the teammates. Shimoda going to square him up outside to inside.
Squared him up off the wall.
Woo! And then Hammaker goes outside to inside to try to get him back. Shimoda makes it stick. Great racing.
This is fantastic.
Hammaker, a little mistake out of that corner. We've seen several riders spin that rear tire out of that turn. There's Mosman. He did it earlier. Hammaker's trying. He's letting it all hang up, trying to keep his teammate inside. He wants that 3rd.
Yeah, it makes a big difference. Every one of these, I mean, championship, it's an old, you talk about it over and over and over, but these are individual races. Every single time they pass a rider at this level here, you're getting 2 points. I mean, there's a gap from 1st to 2nd is obviously a 3-point gap, but you've got each one of those passes from 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, those are all 2-pointers, and that makes a big difference at the end of the championship. You keep doing that a few times.
Hunter Lawrence has this one tucked away, a comfortable gap over his brother Jet, headed to 2 straight Moto wins. Shimoda going to try to lock down that final podium spot over Hammaker and Mosman. Great ride by Max Folan on the Red Bull KTM to move up to 6th. The top 5 runner at his home track, Hangtown, had bike problems last week and is getting right back around that top 5 spot. But how about this? Well, first moto of the year, Jet Lawrence won, and he said, yeah, but when my brother got into 2nd, the gap stayed about the same. If he had gotten a better start, I don't know what would have happened. Well, the last 2 motos, Hunter started in front of his brother, and it looks like he's going to win these 2 motos.
I've been saying that myself over and over. It's like if just Hunter could just get a start, I think he could win one. Last week he proved that theory right, and he's going to do it here. Again, this relentless lap times. I mean, just clicking them off over and over and over. So must be training that way to be that, and takes the checkered flag. Fantastic ride.
2 in a row for Hunter Lawrence. 2 moto wins in a row. Look at this freight train across the line. Jet just holds off Shimoda, Hammaker, and Mosman. That was a bang, bang, bang finish. About 2 seconds between 4 riders at the line.
I tell you, Michael Mosman's beating himself up right now, because look how close he was to having 2nd place finish there, and he tipped over in that one corner while leading, and he would have been 2nd.
Yeah, that was a tough one. Mosman again with the speed, but he's going to end up 5th in the moto. That was great racing all the way to the end. We'll talk to our top 3 when we return, and really setting the scene here. It's going to be 3 more points, an advantage for Hunter over Jet. That'll close the early season points from 12 to 9. It'll be the lead for Jet, but that's relatively inconsequential with this many motos to go. Plenty of time for things to swing in either direction.
It can go either way, no question, but I'd rather be 9 points up than 9 points down right now. But it's this is going to get interesting over there in the Honda camp, huh?
I know. I don't think we've ever had quite this situation. We've had brothers run up front, the Martin brothers, Alex and Jeremy, trading podiums and wins a couple of years ago. But to be this level where they've been 1-2 in the majority of the races this year, unprecedented.
And, after a 30-minute plus 2 lap of hammering like that, it looked pretty fresh. I mean, Hunter looks pretty fresh to me, and see Joe over Shimoda off to the right, but we'll see what happens. And these guys aren't even 100% healthy from my understanding.
Yeah, they're still working their way back from illness. You wouldn't know it by watching Hunter Lawrence. 2 moto wins in a row and making a bid. He wants that first overall win of the year. We'll talk to you about this Moto 1 when we return.
New CRF 250R. Lighter, faster, stronger.
Ready to help you find your edge.
At Lucas Oil, we take pride in creating problem-solving products to make your car care easier. We protect your vehicle and make it run longer so you can focus on the things that matter most. Whether it's commuting to work, visiting a loved one, taking the kids where they need to go, going to the big game, or anywhere life takes you, Lucas Oil is committed to getting you there for all of life's important moments. Lucas Oil, it works.
Rated E for everyone.
At Beta, the best just got better. With the new 2022 Beta RR models, delivering an unmatched, refined riding experience. And the new 2022 Cross Trainer, the #1 selling entry-level enduro on the market. Beta produces the most rideable motorcycles in the world. Check one out at a Beta dealer near you.
The 50th anniversary season of Pro Motocross is brought to you by Optima Batteries, the ultimate power source. Honda, celebrating 50 years of off-road dominance. And by Lucas Oil, keep that engine alive.
Not only a great crowd here today, but a lot of great things for the crowd to see, Rock Lover.
I know, the vintage bikes. I saw that little Mako in the corner there, and it made me think about the fact that this Holbert farm, this track was laid out originally in 1976 by the factory Mako team of Sylvan Gabor's Hansmarsh, and Adolf Wheel came here, so pretty neat.
That's it, yeah. They rocks and sticks to lay out the track. Let's show you what it looks like today with our Lucas Oil race recap. 250 class, Seth Hamaker, out of Pennsylvania, in Pennsylvania, and has your motosport.com hole shot.
That all-important hole shot leading down into that tight section. And right here, this is where the field tends to stretch out.
Big battle here. It's Michael Mosman on the move. He gets around Hamaker to move into the lead, and he started to check out. The speed has not been a problem for Mosman this year.
What coulda, it shoulda, woulda, right?
Been that story quite a bit for him, unfortunately, in the 29. Looks like he's gone. Battle is on for second between Hunter Lawrence in the 96 and Hamaker for second. Great move by Hunter.
Gutsy move on the outside, doing a little double jump and holding it on all the way around. Went the long way.
And there it is, Mosman down, and that puts Hunter Lawrence into the lead. Mosman had caught and passed Hunter, but he coughs it up. And then this battle, unbelievable, right to the line. Chet Lawrence on the move. He's going to get to Mosman.
That was an excellent run. Inside, shortest distance from 2 points, right?
And then he goes after Hamaker. So Chet Lawrence didn't see much of him early in the moto, but your series leader would get to the #2 spot with that pass. There is the finish. Hunter Lawrence takes his second straight moto victory. Jet second, Joe Shimoda would battle his way to third. Let's send it down to the podium with Jason Thomas.
Down here with Hunter Lawrence. Now, Hunter, you signed a brand new 250 contract today with Honda HRC. This is the site of your first ever overall win, and then you win the first moto. Now, what is it about this place that is working so well for you?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a cool place. It was one of my first East Coast rounds in 2019, and I got the moto win there, and it was cool. It's just a fun track. Track layout's tricky today. It's not really flowing as good as it normally does, so it made a little tough in the start for me, but ended up get going and looking forward to the next moto.
So, as I mentioned, you get a brand new deal, 2 years on the 250. It has to feel good to have some continuity with Honda alongside your brother.
Absolutely. You know, I love that team like my family. Everyone works so well. it's unreal. You know, it's cool to call that place my home for 2 more years. Then we'll be looking to extend on after that, of course. So it's awesome.
There it is. Yep, they signed the contract at the rig today around lunchtime. That was pretty cool for Honda to invite the media. They just said we got something special planned.